Welcome to the Travel in Europe channel. This is a YouTube channel that specializes in travel around Europe with specialty for Italy. We have cities, food and wine, sites that you want to see. Hi, I'm George Febish, and I do vlogs on travel to Europe, especially Italy. And today I'm doing this vlog from our home in Clearwater Beach, Florida. Even though we're in lockdown, we have a beautiful view here. The marina below our condo. Nice place to be locked down, but we still have our desire to travel. Lockdown is hard, even for people who haven't contracted the virus. We miss our social skills. Applications like Facebook and Zoom, the internet certainly help because we can virtually socialize, but it's not a substitute for the real thing. And those of us that are travelers have a really hard time because we miss our traveling. And those who love Italy, as I do, really miss Italy and can't wait to go back. Here in the US, they're ending lockdown. I totally disagree with this because we haven't even reached the top of our curve in most places. And there could be another outbreak maybe in the fall when things start to cool down again. And none of us want to see that come back or come back even stronger. Probably travel for 2020 is out of the question. I think that we're all going to still be in lockdown. I don't think we're going to want to feel comfortable being in crowded places and so on. So 2021 is probably when we should be thinking about travel back to Europe and Italy. I'm doing a separate video after this one on planning for 2021 travel, things that I'm looking at and how to stay safe when we do that. Things I think like, shaking hands, hugging, kissing strangers. In Italy, this is done all the time. Probably not going to feel comfortable doing it for a while anyway, because this whole virus thing is really on our minds and we're trying to avoid direct contact with other people. Okay, so as we plan, let's do a summary of what the planning will be for 2021 travel. You want to pick the country or countries you want to visit, the cities and places you want to see. But for me, I'm going to still avoid crowded places. If I go to a place like Venice, which I love, I'll stick to the back streets and avoid Piazza San Marco like the plague. And in Rome, certainly wouldn't go to the Vatican Museum or the Colosseum. There's just too many people, too many ways to contact the virus if it's still around next year. Pick how you're going to move around from city to city. Plane, train, buses, driving, renting a car. Planes, for us in the US, to get to Europe, to get to Italy, we have to take a plane. So if we're going to travel, that's a must. Within the country, we typically don't fly anyway. We typically take trains or rent a car. Trains can be very crowded, especially the local trains. So you might want to avoid that. Take a first class ticket. You're still going to have people around you, but at least you'll have your own space. You won't have people standing in the aisles over you. Renting a car is probably the safest for avoiding crowds, unless you're totally afraid of driving in another country. But I find it very easy, very similar to here. There's great superhighways. So, just do that. And if you're going to go to little cities rather than the big cities, there's wonderful cities in Italy to see. Some of them you're just driving down the autostrada and you see this very cool little city on top of the mountain, and you want to go up there and just check it out. There's not a lot of people. They probably have never seen a tourist, and there's a bar there where you can get breakfast or lunch or a drink, a glass of wine. There's sometimes restaurants, sometimes not. But you go to these little places, you can't get to a lot of them by train. Train just doesn't go there. So if you want to see those kinds of places, you need to rent a car. Travel in 2021. I would recommend either the spring or the fall of 2021. And that's because the summer months, June, July, August, you're going to have heat. There may be more crowds at those times if the crowds are back. But the spring and fall, you have more pleasant weather, less crowds to deal with, just a better time to travel. Even before the virus, these were times that I chose to travel and avoid it, especially August when all of Italy is off and trying to vacation. Here we have a Vaporetto station in Venice, very crowded. Here's the Doge Palace in Venice, also very crowded. In Rome, most of the attractions are very crowded. Here we can see the Spanish Steps with lots and lots of people. Here we can see the line forming to get into the Vatican. This can go around the block and several blocks down the road if you don't have a skip the line ticket. These lines are very, very crowded. Once you get into the museum, it's also very crowded, especially in the Sistine Chapel. Social distancing will probably go on through 2021 at least. I don't think any of us are going to be particularly interested in getting back into tight, crowded areas, touching other people, and so on before that. We want to make sure that this virus is eradicated and we can safely go about our travels. My suggestion is that you go to places that are not so crowded. You might want to stay away from the big cities and go to smaller cities. If you go to the bigger cities, like in Venice, stay away from Piazza San Marco because there's just thousands and thousands of people there. Go off into the back streets, which are far more interesting. I mean, we do that prior to the virus being here. We just love those areas. So 2021, I believe, can be safe as long as we see that the virus goes away this fall and stays away. We still practice some social distancing because I'm sure there'll be some infected people around, but if we avoid direct contact, we can be safe and use common sense. It's just the way we're going to have to travel until we're absolutely sure we're done with this. We can travel safe probably in 2021 and get back to those countries that we miss and that we love so much. Have some of the great food from these countries, their wines, see the people again, but do some social distancing. Planes, here in the US, of course, we have to take a plane to get to Europe, as we said. But planes are putting in new filtration systems to trap things like viruses and bacteria and so on. When those go in, it'll make the air much, much safer and fresher. The only problem that I see is knowing whether the plane you're taking has been upgraded or not. Travel safe, enjoy your travels, have fun, use common sense, practice some social distancing for the next year or so. For now, ciao and arrivederci. We hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe below, like, and don't forget to check the bell so that you get notified of new videos on this channel.